ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، خير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، كل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. Inshallah, we start right away. Babu nafaqat al-mu'taddat, and we've been speaking about divorce and al-iddah and all these related topics. And today we talk about nafaqa for a divorced woman or a widow, if she deserves nafaqa or not. قال المصنف رحمه الله: باب نفقة المعتدات، وهي ثلاثة أقسام. أحدها الرجعية، وهي من يمكن لزوجها إمساكها، فلها النفقة والسكنى. ولو أسلمت امرأة الكافر أو ارتد زوج المسلمة بعد الدخول فلهما نفقة العدة. وإن أسلم زوج الكافرة أو ارتدت امرأة المسلم فلا نفقة لهما. ثاني: البائن في الحياة بطلاق أو فسخ، فلا سكنى لها بحال، ولها النفقة إن كانت حاملا، وإلا فلا. ثالث: التي توفي زوجها عنها، فلا نفقة لها ولا سكنى. So المعتدات they can fall or be three types or three different scenarios when a woman gets divorced or separated from her husband for whatever issue, like al-fasakh or khul'. The first, al-raj'iyya, and we already spoke about the meaning of al-raj'iyya, and we said that is the woman who is divorced for the first time or the second time while she's still in her iddah. And we said she usually stays in her husband's house. لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن ولا يخرجن إلا أن يأتين بفاحشة مبينة. The woman, when she's divorced the first or the second time, she must stay in her husband's house. And we said, according to the Sharia, she's like a wife. There's really no difference between her or if she was divorced first or second time and still in her iddah, or she wasn't divorced. She can be herself with her husband. She can have halwa with him, even if during her iddah. So very much it's the same thing as if their divorce did not even take place. As a result, he's obligated, the husband who divorced his wife first or second time and she's still in her iddah, he's obligated to take care of her, to spend on her, and to provide for her the basic requirements or obligations that a husband is obligated to provide for his wife, from maskan, place to live in, malbas, clothing, food, and Then he said, ولو أسلمت امرأة الكافر أو ارتد زوج المسلم. Two non-Muslims, and then the woman or the wife becomes Muslim. Or two Muslims, the husband becomes kafir, he leaves Islam. In those two situations, either the wife becomes Muslim and the husband stays kafir. And the hukm with that, as we have mentioned before, and the ulama have many opinions about this, but the right opinion is they stay together during her iddah. But he's not allowed to touch during her if he becomes Muslim, can biha, they are back to each other. If he stays on his kufr, then they need to be separated. Okay? So, but if he continues to be kafir and she becomes Muslim, during her iddah, he's obligated to spend on her. Or if they were both Muslims and the husband decides, I'm leaving Islam, he becomes kafir, then automatically they should be separated. She should leave him, and he's obligated to spend on her and to fulfill her needs. But if it happens the other way, وإذا أسلم زوج كافرة أو ارتدت امرأة المسلم, two kuffar are married, we said if she becomes Muslim, then he is obligated to spend on her. But if he becomes Muslim, then automatically, and she chooses to continue to be kafira, then he's not obligated, because they need to be separated. He's not obligated to spend on her. أو ارتدت امرأة المسلم, or two Muslims, the wife and leaving Islam, then he's not obligated. He's not obligated to spend on her. الثاني المرأة البائنة في الحياة بطلاق البائن كان بائنة صغرى, يعني she got divorced, and as long as she's in her iddah, he's obligated to spend. Once she finishes her iddah, that's called baynuna صغرى. And they cannot get married again unless. So once her iddah is over, that she's not obligated to spend on her whatsoever. Okay? If it's baynuna kubra, يعني someone divorces his wife for the third time. So we know the first time has iddah and she needs to stay in his house. The third time has iddah, but she's not qualified, or he's not responsible for spending her if he has divorced her for the third time. From the time he divorces her the third time, from the moment she's divorced, that's it. He's not obligated to spend on her, even though she's still in her iddah, with the exception pregnant. With the exception if she's pregnant, and we know that iddah for pregnant is to give birth. Okay, so she's gonna stay. He's still responsible for her, spending on her if she's pregnant, even if he divorced her for the third time, until she gets Fatima into height. She was divorced by her husband. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told her, and she was divorced by him. يعني ليس لك رواية, and one report of this hadith, and you're not to receive nafaqah or spending unless you're pregnant. And the ayat in the book of Allah are clear. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَأُولَٰئِكَ الْأَحْمَالُ وَالْأَحْمَالُ. The pregnant woman is to give birth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala من حيث سكنتم لا تحمل عليهن حتى يضعن بآيات الرسول. On her, that is 4 months and 10 days. Whether he consummated or not, there is iddah, but there is no nafaq. Okay, he's because he's dead, so she's not to be spent on her from the money he leaves behind. He's not obligated, and the waratha or the heirs are not obligated to spend on her. Even the ulama said the house that she lives in belongs to her husband, and she needs to stay here. To stay in there, as we said in Lihdad, that the woman needs to stay in the house during her iddah, in the house of her husband when he died. she cannot stay in that house if that house will be inherited. Okay, if that house belongs to the husband, then they need the permission of the heirs collectively to allow her to stay in that house. Other than that, then they share compensate with that. The divorced woman, during her iddah, if it's first or second time, she needs she's entitled to be stayed on by her husband. If it's the third divorce or the husband dies, then there is no obligation. استبراء باب استبراء الإماء. This is another small chapter section that he talks about, and this is doesn't exist these days, but since we go over the whole book, we'll just cover it very quick. استبراء الإماء, when they had slave women in the past, Muslim man has the right ملكت أيمانكم, but if he decides to sell her, if he decides to give her away, if he decides to let her free, whatever the situation is, then she needs to wait. She has to have it. موضع الأول من الملك then he cannot hold her. He needs to have a iddah when he buys her, or his gift should gifted to him. He cannot right away use that. He has to give her to be able to have intercourse with her. الثاني أم الولد والأمة التي يطأها سيدها. أم الولد, they call the slave woman who gives birth or who gets pregnant from her master, الولد, the mother of the child. And the same thing, if he decides to let her free, then she needs to wait a حيضة before getting married or being sold to anyone. والتي يطأها سيده. قال والاستبراء في جميع ذلك بوضع الحمل إن كانت حاملا. Either it's حيضة, one period, or if she's pregnant, giving birth. Obvious and clear, and we covered that already before. إذا كانت آيسة فإن الاستبراء يكون بشهر. If she was an old woman that she reached her menopause and she doesn't have a period, then her iddah or istibra' meaning the rahim to be free from any pregnancy. The rahim, the womb to be free from any pregnancy. Then if she reached menopause, then she waits a month instead of a period, because she doesn't get obviously her period. إن ارتفع حيضها لا تدري ما رفعه تتربص سنة. تتربص 10 أشهر. We said the free woman, if she missing her period, she doesn't have period anymore, and she really doesn't know why, and she doesn't think it's menopause, then we said she usually waits a year, and then her id. But for al-ama, for athar and reports from the Sahaba, that it's 10 months. 10 months that she needs to wait, and this is just very quick since we don't have that anymore. Now we start a chapter, and that is very important, and that is باب الظهار. باب الظهار. يقول المؤلف رحمه الله: هو أن يقول لامرأته أنت علي كظهر أمي أو من تحرم عليه على التأبيد، أو يقول أنت علي كأبي يريد تحريمها به. الظهار linguistically في اللغة من الظهر, from the back, and using any part of the woman, as we will see. But it's الظهر, the back where people lay down on. واصطلاحا هو أن يشبه الرجل امرأته بجزء منها أو ما يحرم عليه، كأن يقول أنت علي كظهر أمي أو أنت كأختي. Okay, so here he used أنت كأختي, the whole أخت, the whole sister. You are like my sister. He will tell her, يعني with the intention, as we will talk about someone, husband calls his playing with his wife and he calls her, hey sister, come over. Okay? We will talk about if that considered dhihar or not, or what they used to do in the past, and people today do it to an extent. The Arabs يعني أنت علي كظهر أمي, يعني he fights with his wife and then he goes and he tells her, you are to me like my mother. Okay, you're to me like the back of my mother, or you're to me like the arm of my mother, whatever. But the famous is كظهر أمي, or you're to me like my sister. He's angry with her, يعني he wants to tell her, as obviously the Muslim doesn't sleep with his mother, doesn't sleep with his sister. It's forbidden to do that. So when he tells her with that intention, you're to me like my mother or like the back of my mother, then she becomes haram for him to sleep with. Okay, so when this happens, we need to know what, or he tells her, أنت حرام علي, you're forbidden for me, or you're my mahram. Okay, or you're haram for me to touch or to see. All these things, when they happen, we need to see what the Shara gave as an outline. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى الذين يظاهرون منكم من نسائهم ما هن أمهاتهم إن أمهاتهم إلا اللاتي ولدنهم. So this ayah gives in Mujadila gives حكم الظهار. الظهار is haram. For a husband to tell his wife these expressions is forbidden. Okay, is committing an ithm, committing haram to tell his wife, you're like my mother to me. He's angry with her and he doesn't want to sleep with her anymore. You're like my mother to me, or you're like my sister to me, or you're like my grandmother to me, or you're like the back of my mother to me. La, this is haram to do, haram. But if it happens, then there need to be a solution. And the famous with this, امرأة أوس بن الصامت خولة بنت ثعلبة رضي الله عنها, when her husband told her that, and she came to the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and she told him what he told her, and he was her cousin. So the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam told her to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to be patient. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals these ayat in the beginning of Surah Al-Mujadila. And all this hadith narrated by Aisha bint Abi Bakr radiyallahu anhuma, revealed to or in the house or in the apartment of Aisha in her hujra, and she said radiyallahu anha, very important lesson you learn, because this woman Khawla bint Tha'laba came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and she was whispering to him, قد سمع الله قول التي تجادلك في زوجها تشتكي إلى الله. She was so close to the Prophet ﷺ, and she was quietly telling him what happened, not very loud. And Aisha radiyallahu anha, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals these ayat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as the ayat said, Allah has heard the voice of the one who is arguing with you regarding her husband. So obviously she was the one arguing. So Aisha radiyallahu anha said, سبحان الذي وسع سمعه الأصوات. سبحان الذي وسع سمعه الأصوات. Praise be to Allah, whose hearing is able to hear everything. Whose hearing is over every hearing. So Aisha radiyallahu anha said, I was sitting in the same room and I could not hear some of what she was telling the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And here is Allah over 7 heavens, can hear exactly what she was telling him. والله إني لأسمع خولة بنت ثعلبة ويخفى علي بعض كلامها وهي تشتكي زوجها للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals الذين يظاهرون منكم من نسائهم ما هن أمهاتهم إن أمهاتهم إلا اللائي ولدنهم وإنهم ليقولون منكرا من القول وزورا وإن الله لعفو غفور. قال أهل العلم منكرا من القول لأنه يقتضي تحريم ما لم يحرمه الله. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala finishes these ayat for those who tell their wives these things, you're haram to me like my mother. Allah finished the ayat munkaran wa zura. Munkaran wa zura. So the ulama, when they give the tafsir of these ayat, they said munkar, you know munkar, يعني because he made something Allah made halal for him haram. For making something Allah made halal haram, that is munkar. So imagine everyone who makes something halal for the Muslims haram, someone without knowledge, and people ask him the fatwa, or some people for certain hawa, they're going around, this is halal and this is haram and this is haram and this is halal, and it's other than that, that is munkar. Munkar. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He describes the believer, He said, يَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ. So imagine when the believer supposedly is the one who's guiding or inviting to the munkar. So be aware of that. وزورا زورا يعني بهتان كذب. And why it's kadhib? Because he's telling his wife, you're like my mother to me, and she's not. So he's lying. Okay? She's not. You're like my mother to me. She's not your mother. She's your wife. Okay? Your mother is the one, as Allah said, your mother is the one who gave birth to you. So you're lying when you say that, and at the same time you're committing evil by munkar, by making what Allah made halal for you haram. Also there is another Sahabi, Salama ibn Sakhr, who had the same story with his wife. Salama ibn Sakhr was very Sahabi that could not control his shahwa during the day of Ramadan. So he told his wife, he did dhihar on his wife during the month of Ramadan. He said, you're to me like my mother during the month of Ramadan. And even then he could not hold himself. Alright? Okay? So those are the two, al-umda, those two hadith, very much what the ulama use regarding this. So, طيب, if someone tell his wife, أنت علي حرام. Okay? Someone tells his wife, you're haram to me. Okay? He did not use the exact expression of al-dhihar. He tells her, you're haram for me. Okay? He's angry with her. Or he said, علي الحرام. عياذ بالله. علي الحرام if let's say if this happens, علي الحرام, if this is going to happen, and it happens. Okay? So what's the situation there? علي الحرام يعني you're haram on me. Okay? You're haram for me. So very important to understand, is this dhihar or it's not? Hanabila rahimahumullah said it's dhihar. Okay? They said automatically dhihar mutlaq, that is considered dhihar. Okay? Dhihar, as we said, the meaning of dhihar is for someone to make his wife or his wife haram to him by telling her, you're like the back of my mother, you're like my sister, you're like my daughter. Okay? They said someone who tells his wife, علي الحرام, you're haram علي, you're this, you're that, that's considered dhihar. صحيح ما ذهب إليه بعض أهل العلم, they said it depends on his intention. Depends on his intention. If his intention dhihar, then it's dhihar. If his intention to make her haram, then it's dhihar. If his intention to scare her or to encourage her to do something specific, or this, or inti alayhi haram, if you visit this, or if you go there, or if you buy this, that's then it's yameen. Okay? Then it's yameen, it's an oath, and needs to be fulfilled. And they said if he meant divorce, then it's divorce. Okay? If he meant, because this is one of the indirect kuna. Indirect, it can mean divorce, it can mean not. Okay? So if he meant dhihar, it's dhihar. If he meant divorce, it's divorce. Okay? If it meant just to scare her or to encourage her, then it's yameen, yameen and an oath. Okay? And alayhi kaffara. He needs to fulfill it or remove it with expiation or kaffara. And they said if he did not mean anything, he just came out of his mouth, then that is laghu, and there is nothing on it. Nothing. Okay? And this is something that many, especially the Arabs, and that is something that non-Arabs don't know, and we should not even teach them about it. علي الحرام حرام علي وعلي دسة. Most of the هداهم الله, it becomes a habit on the tongue. Just like in the people in America use you know what I mean, you got what I mean, you know what I mean. It becomes so easy for the Arabs to use it on their tongue. علي الحرام right and left. علي الحرام you don't get up. علي الحرام I get you tea. علي الحرام you're gonna drink it. It becomes so alhamdulillah, there is opinion for Ahl al-Ilm that if he means nothing, then it's nothing, but he should be aware of that, and he should be the Muslim يكون حذر and careful with things related to his deen. Okay. So he who tells his wife أنت علي الحرام, or أنت علي حرام, or علي الحرام, if this happens and it happens, then we say, Hanabila say it's dhihar. But the right opinion depends on his intention. If he meant dhihar, it's dhihar. If he meant divorce, it's divorce. If he meant yameen, to encourage or to discourage, then it's yameen. And if he meant nothing, then inshallah, it's nothing. But what if the husband tells his wife, Ya ukhti? Okay? Someone with his wife, and he's in front of people, her family, and he's shy to tell her honey, or he's shy to tell her habibti, or whatever. He tells her, Ya ukhti. What happens then by calling her Ya ukhti? And again, some of Ahl al-Ilm said dhihar. Okay? They said that is dhihar. He compared her to his sister. Okay? They said dhihar. But again, the same issue, إنما الأعمال بالنيات. إنما الأعمال بالنيات. And we know, with this specific, we know the story of Ibrahim عليه السلام. ودي على الثورة في المغرب. ما هو مسبب مشاكل. We know the story of Ibrahim عليه السلام with the Malik, when they caught him and Sarah. And obviously Sarah was his wife, and he told her, if they ask you who you are to me, then tell them you're my sister. Okay? And she was his sister in Islam. Okay? And there is nothing with that. So this is obvious dalil that it really depends on the intention. What happened with that king, their aqidah and their green book and their dastur, if a woman is married, then they'll kill her husband and they commit the zina with her. If she's married. If she wasn't married, if she was virgin, then they ask for her permission. So that's why Ibrahim a.s. told her that, and you all know when the king tried to attack her, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala paralyzed him. Because even the doctrine they put, they violate. Even constitution they make, the laws they make, they go against. Because Sarah was one of the most beautiful, or not the most beautiful woman at that time. Okay? So obviously he could not follow laws with that. Alright? So القول الراجح في هذه المسألة, if someone tells his wife يا أختي, it depends on his intention. If his intention is flirting with her and having fun, then it's nothing, inshallah. But the ulama don't like that. Makruh. And for the ulama, they said it's nothing if he meant nothing, but it's makruh. Okay, it's not recommended for a husband to tell his wife, Ya ukhti, Some husbands tell their wives, Ya Ummi. Okay? Yani, he loves her, she took care of him, and thus and this and that. So he calls her Ya Ummi. And vice versa. The wife is not allowed to tell her husband, or it's discouraged or not recommended, makruh, for her to tell her husband, Ya Akhi. Okay? Or Ya Abi. Or Ya Ammi. All these things are not recommended, as we had said, as the ulama have said. قال المؤلف رحمه الله فلا تحل له حتى يكفر. قل الله سبحانه وتعالى. Now, someone tells his wife something and he means bihar. Okay, he means bihar, يعني to make her haram for him, and he wants to change his mind. Then there is kafar, there is expiation. قل الله سبحانه وتعالى والذين يظاهرون من نسائهم ثم يعودون لما قال تحرير رقبة من قبل أن يتماسا. Here ثم يعودون لما قال. It's very important to understand what that means, because the ulama differed in the meaning ثم يعودون لما قال. Different in the meaning of that. So the ayah says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after first he makes it clear that it's haram to do that, then now he gives the solution. So the solution, Allah starts, and those who do this with their wives, okay, min nisa'ihim, which obviously, as we will see, that for a woman to tell her husband that the right opinion, that it doesn't make any difference or doesn't count. So that's because Allah says min nisa'ihim, yani from the husband to his niswa or his imran. So الذين يظاهرون من نسائهم ثم يعودون لما قال. ثم يعودون لما قال. What that means? The ulama have different opinions. ثم يعودون لما قال. Those who commit bihar with their wife. ثم يعودون لما قال. Then the expiation. Which makes it clear that what's ثم يعودون لما قالوا, يعني they change their mind. Okay, he said dhihar at the time of anger, at this, at that, and now he wants his wife, right? He doesn't want her to be haram anymore. All right. So ثم يعودون لما قالوا. The opinion which is أهل الظاهر, يعني المذهب الظاهري. They said ثم يعودون لما قالوا, يعني if someone tells his wife أنت علي كظهر أمي, then he wants her back to be his wife and to be able to sleep with her. Okay, then ثم يعودون لما قالوا, then he needs to say it again, because أهل الظاهر takes the words and the letters literally. ثم يعودون لما قالوا. What did they say before? They said, you're to me like the back of my mother. So for him to take her back, then he needs to first say, you're to me like the back of my. Alright? Obviously, that is يعني very weak interpretation. يعني يعيد لفظ الظهار مرة أخرى. هذا ثم يعودون لما قالوا, and this is very out of the picture. ذهب الشافعية they said ثم يعودون لما قال, يعني he does not connect الظهار with divorce. Because if I tell a woman, you're to me, if I tell my wife, you're to me like my mother, with the intention of الظهار, I can't be with her anymore. So I divorce. Okay? I go ahead and divorce. Why do I need to be with her if I can't enjoy her, if I can't, like one of these main purposes behind marriage? So I divorce. So Shafi'i, if he does not follow the with that is the meaning ثم يعودون. يعني as long as he did not follow dhihar with divorce, then that is indication that he's changing his mind and going to do the kafara. The third opinion, Malikiya, they said العزم في الوقت. يعني they intend. Okay, now he told his wife, you're to me like my mother. And now he feels, he wants, pay attention, he intends to sleep with her. You know, I made a mistake, I want to sleep with her. هذه العزيمة. العزيمة is to intend. So that's why فإذا عزمت توكل على الله. Once you intend to do something, you know it's right, you know it's good, you know for Allah, توكل, go for it. So the الوط or intercourse عزيمة. Malikiya said, if he said, you know what, I want to sleep with her, I want, then they said that is the meaning ثم يعودون لما قال. The fourth opinion, which is الحنابلة and الأحناف, is الوط, doing الوط itself. Okay, to have intercourse itself, and that is the strongest opinion, to have intercourse itself. Okay, but we will make it clear, however the expiation takes place before الوط. Okay, خلاص هو determined, that's it, he wants intercourse. The other one thinking about it. The second opinion, he did not divorce. The first opinion, he said, you're to me like my mother again. Okay, so once he's determined, he's set, he's gonna have intercourse, he's done, he's sure. Okay, then that is the meaning ثم يعودون لما قالوا. So once the person knows that that's it, you know what, I want my life to continue normal, then to get to that point he needs to do the expiation, not just the desire, not just I'm thinking about it, okay, not just I might do it. لا, he's determined, then that is مذهب الجمهور. الوقت ثم يعودون لما قالوا هو الوقت itself. يعني ده إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة فاغسلوا وجوهكم، ده آية، أيديكم المرافق. إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة يعني إذا أردتم القيام. Okay? For the salah, you don't make wudu when you're in the salah. إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة, meaning if you want to get up for salah. Okay? ثم يقولون يعني you're getting it. It's not you're intending. Okay? You are going to do it. You're set. You're gonna do it. فيقول الله سبحانه وتعالى فإذا قرأت القرآن فاستعذ بالله. If you read the Quran, then if you want to read the Quran, that's it. The Quran in front of me, I'm gonna start reading. So that's it. I'm gonna do it. So then you ask for isti'an, or you say the isti'an. Okay? But the ayah, if you're gonna translate the ayah literally, it says if you read the Quran, you. So if I'm reading, if I read, okay? So very important. That ثم يعودون لما قالوا means قال المؤمن لكن إذا وقف قبل الوقت itself intercourse, but if he goes back to his wife and have intercourse before he pays off the expiation, then that is ithm and sinful, and he's sinful, and he still needs to pay. That is the ithm. So so what is the kafara now? The very first choice is free a slave. And Allah said, قبل أن يتماس. And this is very important. قبل أن يتماس. Obviously, قبل أن يتماس, before they touch, before they have intercourse, he needs to pay the expiation. So that's the dalil. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, free a slave. Obviously, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then right after that he says, فَمَنْ لَمْ يَجِدْ. And he who does not find. Then فَصِيَامُ شَهْرَيْنِ مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ يَتَمَاسَّ. again before they touch, then he should fast 2 consecutive months. Okay? Now, فَمَنْ لَمْ يَجِدْ is إعجاز. He who cannot find is miracle of the miracles of the Quran. This Quran was revealed at a time where slavery was among the Arabs and the Muslims. Everywhere they were. That there will be no thing. Sometimes there will be no. You can't even imagine that. But maybe they might start using computers and something you cannot. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling them, you first very important to understand, you don't have the you cannot get it, then so the first is to free a slave. If you can't find, يعني Allah is saying there will be time where you will not find a slave. That's why Allah says every time, يعني mostly, you free a slave. If you cannot find a slave, then you move to the next option. So this, if you cannot find, can mean 2 things. If you cannot find a slave, or you cannot afford to free a slave. Alright? And you cannot find money to buy a slave. Move to the next, and the next option is fasting 60 days. Consecutive. Fast, you have to start all over again. Very important. Alright? Of course, if you break fast in between for a reason, for an excuse, شرعي excuse, عذر شرعي. Let's say Eid comes, Eid al-Adha, for example. Okay? Let's say Ramadan comes. Then fast Ramadan and say, here we go, 30 days left. Okay? But if you started fasting from before Ramadan, then Ramadan comes, then you still have to finish the number you had before Ramadan started. You get sick after 40 days, or 45 days. You get sick and you cannot fast. That is okay. Once you recover, you continue. Okay? But if you break fast without an excuse, then you have to make it up. And ulama have opinions, but inshallah this is the strongest opinion. If you can break fast in Ramadan for an excuse, then in bab awla to be able to break it outside Ramadan. The third, let's say someone can't fast it. Not because it's hard, that's the point. Who pushes you and who forces you to make your wife like you made it. They made it difficult on themselves. Allah made it difficult. That is not an excuse. It's difficult, it's tough, it's summer. It's not an excuse. No one is telling you to fast in the summer. But you have to wait for the winter. But that means what? You can't touch your wife. Okay? The faster you get it done, the faster you get your honeymoon back. Alright? So you should think before. 60 days. Alright? Of course. We already established. That is if you fulfill the conditions of a that's different story. طيب, if he cannot, he said, والله, I'm very old, I can't fast, I'm diabetic, and the doctors advise me I can't fast. I need to take sugar, I need to take insulin, I need to take this, take that. Whatever excuses, just cannot fast. Okay? Then he moves to the next option. Very important. So we said he's not choosing whatever he wants. He has to move from one option to another if he cannot do the first or the second. The third option, to feed 60 people. And what you feed them, the average you feed, the average of the food of the people in that region. Okay? So you don't bring 60 people, okay, wallahi, I have to feed you because kafarat al-dhihar, and then they tell you, they're from Miami or wherever, or Fort Lauderdale, and they tell you, okay, we want caviar. Yeah. All right. We want red lobster. Yeah. We want to eat in Hilton restaurant. No. Average of the food of the people. Okay. What's an average lunch here in Miami? $7, $6. That's what you feed 60 people. That's it. Huh? That's it. Arroz con pollo, rice and beans, lentil soup. La, lentil soup is cheap. La, I'm not hungry. All right? Just the average food. And some of the ulama have different opinions about that, but perhaps this is the right opinion. Okay? So, now, if you look at these three options, there is an issue here. The first, freeing a slave, and the second, fasting 60 days, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right after those two options, He said, مِن قَبْلِ أَنْ يَتَمَاسَّ, before they touch. So obviously, if you're going to free a slave, you cannot touch your wife before you free the slave. If you're going to fast 60 days, you cannot touch your wife, because the ayah is clear, before you fast 60 days, touching meaning intercourse. The third, feeding 60 people, Allah does not say min qabli an yatamassa, before they touch, after it. So there has a difference in opinion about. So some of the said, if you cannot do the first option, cannot do the second option, and you end up feeding 60 people, then it's alright to sleep with her before you feed them, and then you feed them. Because the ayah does not, Allah does not end it like in the other two options, does not end before they touch. Clear? Do you guys understand why this is in there? The second opinion said, and that is the madhab of al-jumhur, it's not allowed. Just like the other two. It's not allowed to touch her unless he feeds the 60 people. Those 60 people, you can get 60 people and feed them. You gather them together, you get 10 here, 10 there, 5 here, 5 there, 5. First opinion said, you can't feed with her. The Jumhur and the majority said no. Okay, they said no. It's the applies to the feeding. So how they answered the 60? How they answered, Allah did not say min qabli an yatamassa with the 60, with feeding the 60 people. They said, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have just mentioned before they for the first one, for the freeing the slave, then we would have understood only for freeing the slave. If Allah only mentioned min qabli an yatamassa for the second one, understand only for the second one. If Allah only mentioned for the third one, which is that, understand only for the second. If Allah for the first and the second and the third, we have no problem with it. why Allah will say تعالى if he said fasting 60 days. 60 days. If you are saying that it's a if you cannot fast 60 days, if you're gonna fast before feeding 60 people can take 1 hour. You understand? 60 people and feed them, and you're done. There is really no much hardship with that than the one with 60 days. So if there is, you can sleep with her before, it should be the 60 days, not the feeding. So obviously, it needs to be done before the intercourse in whatever situation. قال المؤلف حتى يكفر بتحرير الرقبة من قبل أن يتماسى. We already said that. The 2 months fast, how he determines the 2 months. We said the 2 opinions about counting the 2 months. If he starts fasting in the beginning of the month, then he goes 2 months. Okay? If he starts the first of the Dhul-Qa'dah, okay, then he goes the first of the Qa'dah until the end. Then he goes Dhul-Hijjah until the end, that's another month. But remember, in Dhul-Hijjah, there's the days of Eid al-Adha. And he's not allowed to fast those 4 days, Ayyam al-Tashriq. So then he makes up those 4 days. Okay? Yeah, I just mentioned, choose this, just came like this. But if he started fasting in the middle of the month, then the right opinion, he counts 60 days. He doesn't pay attention to the ahillah, he just counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 60 days. قال كفارة الجماع في شهر رمضان. كفارة for الظهار is the same as الكفارة for الجماع during Ramadan. If someone had intercourse with his wife during Ramadan, and during the fasting time of Ramadan, during the day of Ramadan, then the same كفارة, and the ulama call it كفارة مغلظة. Because he never gets it. ثم قال من وطئ قبل التكفير عصى وبالنفي كفارة. He said, with his wife before, then his sinful episode, then he said, وَمَنْ ظَاهَرَ مِنْ رَأْيِهِ مِرَارًا وَلَمْ يُكَفِّرْ كَفَارَ واحد. Someone came Monday and he parted with his wife, and he told her, you're to me like my mother. And came in the evening, they fought again, you're to me like my sister. And came 2 days later, you're to me like my mom. There's the guy, يعني مخبوط. If someone does that frequent, and he did not do kafara between these statements, then he's required for 1 kafara. And in the morning he said, you're to me like my mother, and he didn't free a slave. So if he wants one slave, obviously, he didn't fast 60 days. He comes next day, he didn't feed 60 people. He found, and he does it frequently, but he did not do kafara. Then, time to do kafara, he's required to do 1 kafara. Okay? وإن ظاهر من نسائه بكلمة واحدة فكفارة واحدة. If he is married to more than one, okay. or this or let's say he's married. بيعها يعني. Okay? He's required for one kafar. Okay? He's required for one kafar. But if he goes to Monday, it's night for first wife, he fights with her, you're to me like mine. He goes to next wife, he fights with her, you're to me like that. How many? Of course, he won't find slaves to free. How many months he needs to fast? 8 months. If he has 4 wives, 8 months. Do they have to be consecutive? Yeah. But the each two have. But each two will give him one. One. Alright? So 8 months if he separately, individually, gives the dihar to each one. Okay? But if he does one shot, one word, one dihar to the 4 of them, then he's required for one kafar. قال وإن ظاهر من أمتي أو حرمها أو حرم شيئا مباحا أو ظاهرت المرأة وحرمت لم يحرم وكفارته أو لم يحرم وكفارته كفارتين. If he gives dihar to his slave woman, or he made something halal haram, because the idea of dihar to make halal haram. Huh? This is halal to use. I say حراما علي أن أستعمل. Haram, I will not use. Okay? This like flesh of a pig. خلاص. Huh? I won't touch it. Haram to touch flesh of pig. Alright? Or the wife tells her husband, you're to me like my father. You're to me like my brother. If any of those happens, it's not considered dihar. It's yameen. Just yameen. So dihar only happens from a husband to his wife. But it doesn't happen from the wife to the husband. It doesn't happen from the master to the amah. It doesn't happen on something that is halal by making it haram. But to mention, for the woman to tell her husband, you're to me like my father or my brother or my grandfather or my uncle, the ulama again have different opinions in this. الحنابلة said it's dihar, just like حنابلة كله dihar. With this issue of dihar, but here يعني ابن قدامة رحمه الله حنبلي, but he didn't go with that opinion of المذهب. Okay, he went, and that's another opinion in madhab. But the right opinion, it's considered yameen. It's an oath. He just needs to pay the kafara for the oath, free a slave, or feed 10 مساكين, feed 10 people, or كسوتهن, or dress them. And if he can't find any of those, then these are optional. If he cannot find any of those, then fast 3 days. Alright? So that is regarding this issue. قال والعبد كالحر في الكفارة سواء إلا أنه لا يكفر إلا بالصيام. If a slave tells his wife, obviously a slave used to get married to. So if a slave tells his wife, you're to me like my mother, then his kafara is the same as a free man. But the difference is, he cannot use the first option and he cannot use the third option. The only option he has is fasting 60 days. Why?
No money.
Hmm?
No money. He's slave because he's having money. He's a slave.
The slave and his money for his master. So to free a slave, you need money. To feed 60 people, you need money. Okay? So the only expiation will be to fast 60 days. So we start here, and that's the end of Kitab al-Dihar. خلاص هو is sinful but there is nothing on him. He still needs to give the kafara.
Really, when a person is fasting for 60 days, which month are you? The lunar month or the solar month?
Lunar. We're talking about الهلال, الهلة, following the moon. So some months can be 29, so he might end up fasting 58 days, he might end up fasting 59 or 60 days. All right? Hey.
What about it is before? We did say that.
من قبل أن يتماسان, meaning he pays the kafara before they touch.
Before. What about if he sleep with them? Still one kafara.
He committed sin, another sin. The first sin is doing the dhihar. The second sin is the sleeping with her before the kafara, and then he still have to give kafara.
And one kafara for all of them.
All the wives?
One kafara for
لا, the sin of sleeping with her doesn't have a kafara. That's tawbah. He needs to repent. Okay, that's enough. But the dhihar, then still the kafara standing. Okay.
And if he makes dihar 4 times, it's one kafara for all the 4.
As long as he didn't do kafara in between. Yes. Okay. Hey, come